In the last video, we talked about CSS. We talked about how to include an external CSS file to our HTML document. So in this video, we're going to continue from where we stopped by cloning the Mozilla official website. And remember, we're only cloning this website for the purpose of learning and teaching how to code CSS, how to write CSS and write HTML code. So that's why we're cloning this, and we've been doing a very good job with that. And just to watch this video, if you're new here, I want you to know that this is not the first video. So this is actually a series, and this is video number, I think I've lost count, but this is video number something actually. So just go check it or check the title to know the number of the video. So I will place the link to the playlist of this video where we have videos of the entire series. So it's actually in there. When you click on the link in the description, you'll see the entire video and you can start watching from the beginning down to this particular place. But if you think you already have an idea about HTML and CSS, and the description or the title of this video brought you here, you can still stay over here and just watch what we have to do over here. So that being said, let's dive into the code. Welcome back. So this is what we created on the last video, and in this video, so we're going to move over to this part. We're going to be doing all those things and adding these videos and these images as well. So let's get started. So first we'll move over to our IDE and we go to the banner. We remove the text banner there and we place two divs in between. So I'm going to write text in between the first div, and on the second div here, I write image. So that being said, if I should save this now, I can come over here, refresh this, and we could see we have text and image in between. So we'll go back to style this for them to display side by side. We're going to use the flex box to make them display side by side. So I'll come over here on the section, which is the parent of this two div. I'll move over there to the CSS, and out here I'm going to add a display flex. So for us to see what we're doing clearly, I'll just give this a color of white. I'll say everything here should have a color of white, and I'm going to save that. So I would, oh, not there. I'm going to refresh this now, and we could see we have them displaying side by side now. So that's not all. I'm also going to give this a padding of 0 at the top and bottom, and 20% at the left and the right. So if we should refresh that, we could see it's now starting from the same place with the Mozilla logo. So we're making progress. So the next thing we need to do is to go over to our HTML file, and I'm going to be giving this a class. So I'm going to give this a class name. For the first one, I'll call this left text. I'll call this left text, and the second one I'll call it right image. So remember, you can always call your CSS classes whatsoever you want to call them, but it's always good to give them good names. This may not be the best name to give to your CSS class, but you get the idea. Okay, so let's go on. So for our left text, we're going to create a new style for our left text. So let's move over to the bottom of this now. So come over here, and I'm going to say that I want the width of my left text to be 49%, so that there could still be some space in between the two divs. So I'm going to say the width should be 49% over there, and on my right image, that's right image, I also want the width should be 49% as well. 49%. So if I should save this, I come back over here and I refresh this. So I could see that something is actually wrong. So if you observe, I have a scroll bar over here. So that's because when I added the padding actually adds itself to the width of the div, and it makes the div to be longer than usual. So to correct this, we'll go back to our section element, to the section selector over here. Then we're going to use a property called box sizing, and we'll then use border box. So what this does is it actually tells the browser that no matter the amount of padding, make sure you obey this command of using the maximum width should always be 100%, irrespective of what the padding is. Just use 100% to be the maximum width. So I'm going to save this and I'll come over here and I'll refresh. Now you can see we don't have this scroll bar over there anymore, and our divs are now well positioned. So what we're going to do next now is we're going to copy this text here. We'll come over here to our HTML file. We'll remove this text and we'll paste it over here. So we also need a button, right? And the button was written learn more. So we're going to put this button over here and we'll write learn more. We'll save this. So let's see what this will look like. When we refresh now, we could see we have this text and we have this button over here, and they're not really looking like we have them over here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to style them up. So we'll move over to our left text and we're going to say that our font size should be, let's say, 200 pixel. I'm going to check if that's good enough, and I'm going to say our font weight should be let's just say 600, and font weight has no unit, so it's just going to be 600. So we'll save that, move over, and we'll come here, we'll refresh this, and that's too big, very, very big. So I'm going to style this. Let's see a better font for it. So we're going to reduce this now till it's okay for us. So I think 40 pixels should be okay for us, actually. 40 pixels should be okay. So I'm going to change our font this to be 40 pixels now, and that's actually better. But our button is not looking like what we have here. So we have some borders around the button and it's white. It's not really like what we have here. So we're going to make it blue and white text and bigger, and there'll be a little space between it down. So to do that, I'll move over to my IDE and I'll go to the button. I'm going to give the button a class. So I'm going to call the class learn. I'm going to call it learn. So I'm going to style the button by with my CSS. So I'm going to say that the button first should be display block, actually. So I want the button to be display block so that it's going to come over to the next line. It's not going to be an inline element anymore. It's going to come over to the next line. And after that, I'll say I want the width of the button should be, let's just say 70 pixels. I want the height of the button to be 40 pixels. Or instead of me giving a width or a height, I would rather just give a padding. So I would say I want the padding of the button to be 20px. That is, the space between the inside of the button before the text should be 20 pixels. So I'm going to save this, and I would also come over here and I would say I want the background color. That's the background, to have this color as well. I also don't want the button to have a border. So I'm going to say border should be none. to be none, and I want the button to be a bit round. So I'm going to say border radius. Border radius should be 10 pixels. So let's just see how this would appear. So when I save this now, it's a bit good, but not really like this. So I'm going to make our border radius to be like 1 pixel or 2 pixel, and I'll make the text to be white over there. And I'm going to add more padding horizontally. So I'll do that quickly. So the first thing we need to do is actually to give a space between the text and the button. So to do that now, I'm going to say margin top should be margin top. Let's just say let's just give it 100 pixel, and over here in our padding, I want our horizontal padding to be 30 pixels. So that's the left and the right one. That being done, we're going to say our color should be white as well. So, and our radius, border radius should just be 2. I'm going to save this. We'll come over here and we'll refresh. So our margin is actually too much. We're going to reduce it by, let's say we'll reduce it by 50%. So we'll come over here, margin top. Let's just see what's going to work out for us. So I think 50% is good, but let's just keep it at 40%, 40 pixels rather is actually better. So we're going to keep this at 40 pixels. And now when we refresh this, it actually looks better now. So the next thing we're going to do is to get this image. So I'm going to copy the image address. I'll right click on the image, copy the image address, go back to my IDE, the HTML file, and in this next part, I'll just leave a space here. Now, in this next part, I'll remove the image text and I'll add the image tag. So I'm going to paste the link I just copied from Mozilla website over there, and I'm going to say the alt should be Mozilla image is the alt text over there. So I'll save that, I'll come over here and I will refresh. Now we can see that the image is actually looking too big. So we're going to fix this in a jiffy. What we'll do first is we're going to increase the height of this banner. So currently the height of this, what we call the banner, actually the section, we are going to say the section height is currently 300 pixel. So let's just make it 400 pixel first. It's still going to be too small. Yes, so it's still too small, and we're going to fix this now. So to fix this, we're going to resize our image. Now what we'll do is go to the HTML and we give the image a class. We call it img1. Sorry, we call this img1, and we'll come over here and we'll give it a style. No, not this bracket. These are the brackets. So we're going to say that the width is, let's just assume the width is 350 pixel and the height is 320 pixel. It's 320 pixel. So I'm going to save this now, refresh this, and we could see it's a bit smaller, but this time around it's not really getting to the end of this particular div. So what we're going to do is that we're going to add a padding, a general padding at the top here, so that both the image and the text could come down a bit. So to do that, we would go to our section, which is the parent of those two elements. We'll go to our section, then this, we're not going to use this anymore. We're going to say we want the top padding should be 40 pixel. We want the left padding should be 20%. We want the bottom padding to be 0. That means no padding there. And once the left padding should be, let's say 20, same with the right one. So that's 20%. So we'll save this and we'll refresh to see how this goes. Okay, so we'll close, but maybe it will be better if we use 60 pixels. So, okay, so let's just leave it at that. So over here, we can see it's still not touching down. So let's just increase it a bit. And now let's use our developer tool to do this. Actually, we use our developer tool. So we're going to increase this now. Okay. So we're increasing this to, let's say, 110. So let's just increase this to 110. So let's see what it is over here. And this is, we'll refresh this and it's still having something cool. So now we have our image. Our image is actually moving over this particular div. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go over here. Then we're going to say overflow. Overflow should be hidden. Now this simply means that whenever an element overflows its border region, it should just not show it. So when we save this, we'll come over here, we'll refresh this, and we could see what we have here. So the space between this and this is actually a bit close to each other. And if we should inspect this, we could see we still have a little space by the side here. So we're just going to align this to the right to create a little space. So that's what we'll do now. And we'll move over to the right image and they'll say text align right. Yes, I know that's not a text, but text align actually works for inline elements, and an image is also like an inline block element, and it works for it. So we'll save this, we'll come here, and we'll refresh. So you can see the image actually shifts to the right a bit. So that's just it. That's what we have over here. So it's not really exactly the same thing. When we close this, they are not really exactly same thing, because here we have 3 lines of text and here we have 2 lines of text. So let's just do something on that. We're going to increase our font size to be, let's say, 50, and let's see if that would help. Okay, that helps a little. So this is actually what we have over here, and our image is actually appearing to be a bit too small. So we'll come over to our image styling. We increase the size of our image. So let's say, okay, let's just do that from our developer tool first. So in this part, we're going to increase the size of our image. We increase the width, and let's just increase the height. So it should be noted that we're just actually using some sort of random values over here. So let's make these 370. So let's say width is 370 and 350. So let's say 370 and this is 350. We'll save this and we'll refresh this. So we'll save this, we'll refresh this. We'll come over here again, and at this point now, we may want to reduce the padding from 110 to maybe 100. So when we do this now, or maybe, okay, let's reduce it to 95. I think this is better off if we reduce it to 95. So we come over to the section here and we'll reduce this to 95 and we'll save this now. So we'll come here, we'll refresh this, and it's actually looking better now. So this is great, and we've actually accomplished this part of the website, and we'll go into the next part of this website right now. Maybe not right now, because I just observed that this video was becoming too long. So I'm going to stop this video and we're going to do this on the next video. So remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Goodbye.